Hello, everybody, back again for Thorstalk Thursday. Let's talk about the gods. So, I'm recording this late on Thursday, really Friday morning. It's about almost 1 in the morning now. So, by the time you see this, it's probably late Friday, maybe early Saturday. Hey, everybody, so I'm editing this here on Saturday, so I know that if anything, you'll probably be seeing it on Sunday. Thank you all for your patience, and let's get back to the video. I have a couple of things I want to talk about for this video. Not much that has to do with the gods, but just spirituality in general. More about the future, things to come for us all. All people. Some of this actually relates to some of my prior videos on TikTok. Some stuff about the readings that I recently did on TikTok. I have my main points written down on my second phone, so let's just get right into it. So I want to start off with talking about something a little bit light for now, something that I think most people can agree with, something a little bit less controversial or heavy, really, let's say. I wanted to talk about the importance of really relaxing yourself. And I'm not talking about being lazy or, just letting life pass you by, but really what I'm talking about is being able to, sorry if it got a little bit dark there. It's the lighting. So really what I'm talking about is being able to recharge yourself, right? So like if things are going really bad or things are really difficult for you at the moment, being able to take time for yourself in between all the things that you have to do is very important. It's very important to be able to just relax a little bit, be able to say, I earned this, be able to feel like you have some control in your life. I think it's very empowering for people to do this, and it makes it easier for you to get on with your life. This will actually begin to bring a sense of happiness into your life, even if it's just momentary. I mean, no happiness goes on forever, really. Here on earth, we're very lucky to have any long periods of happiness at all. So, any happiness that you get, it should be cherished. It's very important to allow yourself to also connect with the spiritual side of everything. It's very important to reconnect with the earth itself, to join into those divine energies around us, to envelop yourself in the spiritual comfort that is in this world, and to really allow yourself to connect with the spirits or the gods, or if you're a Christian or Abrahamic religion, God. Another thing I wanted to say is how important it is to trust the process, especially if you get a reading, right, and you hear that things are getting better for you in the near future. I think it's very important to understand that things are not going to happen this second. And even if they do, it's not going to happen literally this second, right? So it's very important to just allow these things to happen. It's very important to keep progressing, but always remember that things will get better and just trust the process. So the second thing I wanted to talk about, and this is actually going to be quite quick of a video compared to my first two videos. Since things have been a little bit hectic recently, things have been a little bit, my schedule's been a bit full lately, and I have some things going on, so this is going to be a little bit of a short video. But anyway, it's pretty important to allow yourself to feel happy. And I know some people may be thinking, well, how can I allow myself to feel happy? Well, what I mean is, it's very important to find happiness in life wherever you can, right? So let's say you're going through a difficult time right now, right? Life just crapping on you, right? You feel down in the dumps. You feel like nothing's going your way, right? it's very important to allow yourself to just feel good, right? So sometimes I think the human body wants to feel in so much control that when you feel angry, your body almost wants to feel even more angry, since then it's controlling something. It's saying, okay, I'm not angry since you're making me angry. I want to be angry, right? And this is something I say all the time, right? The body is like a child. You can be 50 years old, you can be 100 years old, but the human body is always at the mindset of a newborn. The body does not want to listen. The body does not want to take responsibility. The body wants to do what it wants to do when it wants to do it. And it does not want to feel like it's being pressured by anything. So this is why it's important to come into your mind and really say, this is where I need to step in, right? I cannot just let my body control me, since my body wants control in some way. So enough of that tangent. The base point that I'm trying to make here is, if you're not feeling good, you're going through a bad time, right? Like I said before, it's very important that you do something that makes you happy. So whether that be listening to music, maybe playing a little bit of video games, obviously not too much, maybe going on a walk outside, talking to friends, hanging out, right? Something that helps you and just de stresses you, especially something that will release dopamine. Now, I'm not talking about drugs, I'm not talking about anything that is unhealthy for you, especially nothing that's illegal, okay? I'm not talking about any of that. I'm not talking about smoking. I'm talking more about things that hit your reward system naturally. So something like doing a word puzzle or playing a game, something that makes you feel like you've achieved something. Or if you're able to, maybe actually achieving something like finishing something for work, or creating some sort of goal for yourself and completing that goal, right? Sometimes completing goals really helps us to feel good, since it releases dopamine and hits that center in your brain that says, yes, I did it, right? Drugs also do this, but that's why it's called drug abuse. You're abusing your reward system in your mind. You're getting rewarded for doing nothing. But there are many different ways to hit this dopamine center naturally: exercising, going outside, meditating, some other things I'm not going to mention. So, my last point that I wanted to bring up is about when you're feeling negative or you're feeling bad or something happens, right? And you're feeling really down. Like not just sad. I mean like really down. You can even use the word depressed, right? And I'm not really talking about long depression, maybe more momentary depression. But even even so, this could help long-term depression. I mean, I myself have sort of struggled in the past with a sort of depression. It was not really something I would say long-term in this body, but I think I could say it was sort of long-term. I'm not going to go into too much detail about this, but I've had a past life regression, right? And in this past life regression, which really, it was not a controlled past life regression, it just came to me. And I think this was definitely for a reason. Everything happens for a reason. I'm not going to say exactly what I had seen for my past life, but it was something, let's just say, that was forced, okay? Forced upon my past self. And it was a horrible thing, right? But it's it's not easy to deal with those things in life. So I'm not going to condone doing anything negative about things that have happened in your life. But I also could not say that I do not understand it when people do not take these things well. You need to be a very strong person to be able to, still still be able to look forward in life and still progress in life and still remain here, still be hopeful after bad things are forced upon you, it's a sign of a very strong person if you're still here. Even if you're not doing well in life, if you're still here and you still want things and you're not completely dead inside or dead at all, I think at least it means you're a very strong person. And if something like that has happened to anybody out there and you're still hopeful and you're still persisting through life, just take it from me, you're a very strong person, okay? Um, but back to my original point, I did not handle this well in my past life. I'm not going to say exactly what happened, but I lashed out, and that's, looking back, it was not the right thing to do, but what happened happened, and everything happens for a reason. So I know that what happened led me to certain things in this life, and I know that in this life I'm meant to, in a sense, sort of atone for that, and I'm also meant to bounce back. Now, one thing that I want to say is, if you're feeling sad, you're feeling down, or even momentary depression, it's okay to feel those things. You need to know it's okay to feel those things. Everybody feels sad at some point. Even if you want to take an example from, the pages of history, apparently Jesus, when he first heard that he was going to be crucified, he went through, I think, like 40 something days of some sort of depression. Whatever it is in your life that is causing this, it's okay to feel sad and it's okay to feel worried and depressed. Should not beat yourself up for this. It would only make things worse. But it's very important to remain yourself, right? It's very important to be yourself, not fake things in life, not become a different person just since someone tells you that this is the right thing to do, right? Or maybe you have friends that are all positive and you're just a negative person. Not that you should be negative, but if that's you and you're working on yourself, just be you. I'm not saying to stay negative, but I'm saying do not rush into things that will only make things worse. Someone once told me that rushing things ruins things. And it's the truth. When you rush into things, you're playing with fate, right? And perhaps it was fate for it to happen. But things oftentimes end in a calamity when you rush things. It's just not good. So, as I said before, this is a short video, but this is my main point that I wanted to say. It's very important to ground yourself, and it's very important to remember that you have your own path, and what other people say is not as important as it may seem. Now, if you feel that something really strikes a bond within you and it's a positive thing, then I think definitely you should for it, and that it was fate. But again, nothing that's negative, nothing that's going to result in more pain. But everybody has their own path, and what's done is done. That it's not an excuse to do bad things, but if things have happened, all you can do is move forth and not worry about what you did. Life is difficult, and I do not see it changing on a mass scale in the near future. Life is always going to be difficult. Even if you have everything you want, life will be difficult. And that does not mean to be negative about things. I think everything is perspective, and perspective is everything. I mean, yes, things are always going to be difficult. You're going to get to where you always wanted to be. Now what? Right? There's always a next step. The steps never end. But this does not mean to be depressed about everything. Like I said before, just find happiness wherever you can. In a world of such little happiness, you need to scrape the bottom of the barrel to find whatever happiness you can. It's 1:11, by the way, right now. Synchronicities, like I said. It's very important to, do what you need to do, be positive, and just be knowledgeable. Realize that things are going to happen. There's always going to be a next step, and things oftentimes suck. You're going to be pushed out of your comfort zone all the time. And oftentimes, it's important to push yourself out of the comfort zone so you feel used to it when you are pushed out of it. You're going to feel like, wait a minute, it's okay. I've done it myself. So now I know that it's not the end of the world. And most of the times, it's only to make your life better. It's only to make you understand and realize things, right? So, bottom line, if you feel like crying, cry. If you feel sad, allow it to pass. I mean, even a therapist would probably tell you this. If you're feeling sad, feel it. Okay? Do not hide it, since that's only going to stay there. I know most times men, especially, are raised to man up. And really, I think depending on the way that it's told, this can be very detrimental to people, since, if by man up you mean bottle your feelings inside and just move on, how are you ever supposed to heal? The only way for you to heal and feel better is to feel these emotions, right? Metaphorically, you need to bleed to heal the wound. You cannot just leave it there and, metaphorically not let it out. You need to let it out. If you do not bleed, your wound will never heal. So I think it's very important that we all bleed a little bit, okay? And again, this is only a metaphor. I'm not talking about actual bleeding or cutting or anything like that. I would like to wish everybody a good night, a good morning, a good afternoon, whatever time it is that you're watching this. Again, you'll probably be seeing this video maybe by Friday night, Saturday morning. And yeah, I really hope my message helps people, and I really hope that you guys are able to feel some resignation with this. I really hope that this brings people some comfort, and that you can sort of learn from my mistake in the past, that just lashing out and taking things hard is probably the easiest way, but the easiest way is not always the best. And you may come to regret it. And really, you should never ever do something you're going to regret. Regret is one of the worst things. I know from some of my other past lives that regret, it's horrible. I mean, regret is actually sometimes worse than inflicted pain, since something that someone forces upon you is quicker in the long term than regret. Regret you may carry with you for lifetimes. However, if you do something and you know you're not going to regret it, even if it's difficult, you will feel much better afterward. So, moral of the story, be your best self. Do things the way that you think is a part of your fate, and just try and spread positivity if you can. Keep progressing. Just be yourself, okay? It's very important. As Bob Marley said, one love. And everybody, have a good night, have a good day, have a good afternoon. See you next time for the next Thorstalk.